As mentioned last video, rewatching the Guardians trilogy after watching Volume 3. Again, Guardians trilogy is my favorite MCU trilogy along with Tom Holland's Spider-Man trilogy. In 2014, Peter Quill, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Baby Groot are renowned as the Guardians of the Galaxy. Eshor, leader of the Sovereign race, has the Guardians protect valuable batteries from Obelisk, an interdimensional monster, in exchange for Gamora's estranged sister Nebula, who was caught attempting to steal the batteries. Is it just me finding Eshor very attractive? Not sure if it is because she is all gold. Probably. Anyways, after Rocket steals the batteries for himself, the Sovereign attacks the Guardians' ship with a fleet of drones. A mysterious figure destroys the drones and the Guardians crash land on a nearby planet. There, figure reveals himself as Quill's father, Ego, and invites Quill, Gamora, and Drax to his home planet. Rocket and Groot remain behind to repair the ship and guard Nebula. Looking back now, it is funny to see Kurt Russell as Ego, the actual father of US Agent Wyatt Russell. Meanwhile, the beautiful Eshor hires Yondu Udonta and his crew, who have been exiled from the greater Ravager community for child trafficking, to recapture the Guardians. They capture Rocket, but when Yondu hesitates to turn over Quill, whom he raised, his lieutenant Kraglin Opfonteri questions his objectivity, and another lieutenant, Taserface, leads a mutiny, aided by Nebula. Do you guys also ever wonder why Yondu has a southern accent living in space his whole life? It was believable on The Walking Dead but never thought so in space. Okay, Tis imprisons Rocket and Yondu aboard the latter's ship and executes his loyalists. Nebula leaves to find and kill Gamora, whom she blames for the torture inflicted on her by their adoptive father, Thanos. Groot and Kraglin, the latter having never intended to start the mutiny, free Rocket and Yondu. Using Yondu's arrow, the group destroys the ship and its crew while escaping. Taserface warns the Sovereign before dying. Ego, a godlike celestial that manipulated the matter around his consciousness to form his home planet, explains that he projected a humanoid guise to travel the universe and discover a purpose, eventually falling in love with Quill's mother Meredith. Ego hired Yondu to collect the young Quill after Meredith's death, but the boy was never delivered, and Ego has been searching for him ever since. He teaches Quill to manipulate the celestial power. Nebula arrives at this planet and tries to kill Gamora, but the pair reach an uneasy alliance when they discover a cavern filled with skeletal remains. Nebula is pretty as a cyborg crazy chick too. Back to it, Ego reveals to Quill that in his travels, he planted seedlings on thousands of worlds that can terraform into new extensions of himself, but only the power of two Celestials can activate them. To that end, he impregnated countless women and hired Yondu some of the children, but killed them all when they failed to access the celestial power. Can you imagine Ego being on Maury Povich show and all the dad reveals from all those impregnations? At first, under Ego's influence, Quill fights back when Ego reveals that he gave Meredith the brain tumor that killed her due to the distraction she posed, forcing Ego to parasitically draw Quill's energy to activate the seedlings, which begin to consume every world. Mantis, Ego's now Atilda Macron Vimpeth servant, grows close to Drax and warns him of Ego's plan. Gamora and Nebula also learn of the plan as Rocket, Yondu, Groot, and Kraglin arrive. Mantis is pretty too. After rescuing Quill, the reunited Guardians travel to Ego's brain at the planet's core, during which Yondu reveals that he kept Quill to spare him from the fate of Ego's other come under attack from the Sovereign's drones. Rocket makes a bomb using the stolen batteries, which Groot plants on the brain. Quill fights Ego with his newfound celestial powers to distract him long enough for the other Guardians and Mantis to escape. The bomb explodes, killing Ego and disintegrating the planet. Quill loses his celestial powers soon after Ego's death. Yondu sacrifices himself to save Quill and dies in the vacuum of space. Having reconciled with Gamora, Nebula still chooses to leave and resume her quest to kill Thanos by herself. The Guardians hold a funeral for Yondu, which Kraglin and dozens of Ravager ships attend, acknowledging Yondu's sacrifice and accepting him as a Ravager again. During the funeral, Gamora admits she loves Peter, and they become a couple. In a series of mid and post-credit scenes, Kraglin takes up Yondu's tail and control Finn. Ravager leader Stakaro reunites with his ex-teammates. Eshor creates Adam, a new artificial being with whom she plans to destroy the Guardians. Groot grows into a teenager. Another great chapter from James Gunn. So hyped about the DCU now with James in charge there. All in all, another approval and recommendation from me. This concludes my recaps and reviews of the Guardians trilogy. I probably will continue with the MCU timeline. I'll catch up one day and mix in DC movies too. Thank you for watching and I will be back soon with another quick recap.